Picture this. A billionaire walks into a casino with a duffel bag full of dirty cash. Within hours, that same money becomes clean, legal, and untraceable. But this isn't a Hollywood movie plot. This is the real financial underworld, where luxury art, shell companies, offshore accounts, and high-end real estate are all just pawns in a global game of money laundering. Now, we're not talking about a few crooked businessmen here. We're talking about the rich, the powerful, and even governments. In fact, experts estimate that up to $2 trillion, 0 cents, is laundered globally every single year. That's more than the GDP of Canada. And what's worse, a shocking percentage of it flows through completely legal loopholes hiding in plain sight. Let's uncover exactly how it works. At its core, money laundering is simple. You take money earned through illegal means, drugs, fraud, bribery, or tax evasion, and make it look like it came from a legal source. The process typically happens in 3 stages: placement, layering, and integration. Placement is the first and riskiest step. This is where dirty money enters the financial system. Think of a drug dealer walking into a casino and exchanging cash for chips, or a corrupt official wiring bribe money into a bank account via a shady third party. The goal is to physically get the money into circulation without raising red flags. Then comes layering, the part that turns a pile of suspicious cash into a ghost trail of transactions. Here's where things get sophisticated. The money is moved through complex webs of shell companies, offshore accounts, cryptocurrency mixers, and false invoices. The purpose is confusion, to create so many layers that tracing the origin becomes impossible. Finally, there's integration. When the money reappears in the form of assets, investments, or even luxury items. By now, it looks completely legitimate. It can be used to buy real estate, art, jewelry, yachts, or even fund political campaigns. Let's look at real examples. Remember the Panama Papers? In 2016, a massive leak exposed how world leaders, athletes, celebrities, and criminals used secretive offshore entities to hide wealth and avoid taxes. Names like Vladimir Putin, Lionel Messi, and even the King of Saudi Arabia appeared in the document. So how do these offshore havens work? Countries like Panama, the British Virgin Islands, and the Cayman Islands have ultra-strict privacy laws and lax tax regulations. Setting up a shell company there is as easy as ordering a pizza. For a few $100s, you can create a business with no physical office, no employees, and no operations but full legal status. Here's how billionaires use it. Let's say a real estate developer wants to hide $50 million. Instead of buying property directly, he sets up a shell company in the Cayman Islands. That shell company owns another one in Delaware, which owns a holding company in the UK, which finally buys the real estate. On paper, the owner is a company, not a person, but it gets even juicier. High-expend art is another favorite tool. Art is subjective, expensive, and unregulated. A painting can be valued at $10 million, 0 cents, bought in cash, and stored in a Freeport tax-free warehouse near airports in Switzerland or Singapore. No questions asked. Years later, that same painting can be sold at an auction, and the proceeds are clean. Even more shocking, the US is one of the biggest enablers of global money laundering. That's right, America. Thanks to weak corporate transparency laws, it's easier to hide dirty money in Delaware or Nevada than in Panama. In fact, 23 out of the 24 most secretive financial jurisdictions, ranked by the Tax Justice Network, are U.S. states. Let's talk about real estate laundering, especially in places like London, New York, and Dubai. Ever seen a $100 million 0 cents penthouse sit empty for years? It's probably a money vault. Corrupt politicians and cartel leaders love luxury properties because they're stable, valuable, and anonymous. Many buy through shell companies or trusts. No one asks where the money comes from. What about cryptocurrency? Once considered a tool for freedom, Bitcoin and Ethereum are now favored by cybercriminals. Using mixers, tumblers, and decentralized exchanges, criminals can convert hacked funds, ransomware payments, or black market sales into clean crypto nearly impossible to trace. But wait, it gets darker. Some of the world's biggest banks have been caught laundering money. HSBC was fined $1,900,000,000 for laundering drug cartel money. Danske Bank helped funnel over $200 billion in dirty money from Russia through its Estonian branch. And yet, few executives go to jail. The system protects itself. So how do billionaires get away with it? Because they don't need to break the law. They exploit the gray areas. They hire teams of lawyers, accountants, and consultants who know how to dance on the edge of legality. They create dynasty trusts, charitable foundations, corporate layer cakes, and offshore investment funds that move money around the globe like water. Here's a real case. Joe Low, the Malaysian financier behind the $4,500,000,000 1MDB scandal, used shell companies and bank accounts in at least 10 countries. He bought luxury apartments, jets, and even funded Hollywood movies like The Wolf of Wall Street, all using stolen money, legally laundered. And don't think it's just criminals. Big corporations do it too. Apple, Google, and Amazon have used tax loopholes to move profits offshore and avoid billions in taxes. It's all disclosed in reports, yet nothing changes. Now you're probably wondering, is there any way to fight back? There is, but it's slow. Governments are cracking down with regulations like the U.S. Corporate Transparency Act and the EU's anti-money laundering directives, but enforcement is weak. The wealthy have influence, and every time a loophole closes, a new one opens. So what can you do? Start by understanding how money moves. Educate yourself on offshore finance. Follow the paper trails. Support transparency laws. And most importantly, don't fall for the illusion that the system is fair, because in reality, money isn't just power, it's invisibility. And the game of money laundering? It's being played right in front of you. Now that you know the rules, which side will you be on? Stay curious, stay aware, and always follow the money.